You know what, Jack? I genuinely don't remember the last time I had so much fun talking about coins.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I remember last time. The last time we did this show was the last time.
That's what I mean. Like, I mean, this podcast, it's a pretty cool idea. I mean, we get to, talk about coins, which is always fun, but, explore some serious and, like, real opinions that people can have. And, it's such a vast industry that these types of conversations can even happen.
Yeah, and I was a little disappointed. I didn't bust your chops as hard as I usually do and hope to. So maybe sure today I can...
The more comfortable we get, I feel like the more that's going to be coming out. And I don't know if that's a good thing, but we'll figure it out.
I'm sure.
You want to start off by... we talked about recent events a little bit last time, but one coin that we kind of glanced over because it wasn't the July release is the 2025 high relief gold $100 piece.
Right. And obviously we love those. We talked about some of the earlier ones. We talked about the bucking bronco and all this, the bristle cone. But yeah, the one this year is the sunflower,
correct?
Which I thought was a really interesting choice with the bee on it. I'm curious to see what it looks like in high relief. I mean, I've seen the images of it, but
it's hard posted. It's online.
Yeah, but still, without seeing it moving and in person, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? I really want to see how high that relief really looks. I mean, I've seen the images. It looks really cool. I was surprised to hear, and I forget who the artist is, but I was surprised it wasn't Emily Damstra. It looked like a very Emily Damstra post because of that bee on it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've looked at her work besides coins, but like she's done a ton of work doing illustrations of animals and bugs and things. So to me, I thought it was her when I saw it, but I forget who the artist is. Do you remember who it is?
I don't, but one thing that I thought was pretty cool this year, I don't know if they do this every year, but how they released all the different candidates for what the design could look like on the obverse and reverse. You did your tier list for that too.
Right.
I forget what you put up in the S tier category, but it was cool that the US Mint like publicly showed all the different coin designs that had the potential of being on it.
I agree. Yeah, I think the ones I picked as my favorite were, there was some with like a buffalo that was like busted through a fence.
I saw that through the fence.
Yeah, I thought that was my, I think, top choice. I like this choice a lot. There were definitely some ones that were different that were, I think, in concept cool, like those ones that were more kind of like street art, like graffiti style and stuff. I think as a concept it was cool. I didn't love the actual way it turned out, those designs. But I think the design they went with is a great choice. Like, I think this is a really, keeping with this tradition they've done the last few years of trying to find a completely new way of kind of representing liberty. I think it's a really, cool design to see that sunflower.
Yeah, I think I was reading about, what the sunflower is meant to represent, because with the bronco, the idea is that it's bucking off an English saddle, so it's representing freedom in that way. And with the bristle cone, it's one of the oldest living organisms on the planet, so it's like how deeply rooted freedom and liberty and all that is embedded into our country. With the sunflower, I think the idea behind it is that the ideas of freedom and liberty, how they need to be nurtured so deeply, and that's why you have the bee on it harvesting the nectar.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's a cool idea.
I like that. That's really cool. It's a completely new angle.
You mentioned the graffiti design that was one of the candidates.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard about this. I was reading about it. That design was originally picked by the committee to be put on the silver medal. The silver medal. It was proposed that the graffiti version of Lady Liberty, the Statue of Liberty coin, that was supposed to be on the obverse of the silver version.
Oh, so they're going to do the gold and silver with different designs?
That's what was supposed to happen. But I guess the U.S. Mint decided to use the same design because the silver.
That's what they've done traditionally.
Correct. Yeah.
So, I think they have a lot more leeway with the the metal than if it's a coin. There's a lot of congressional red tape they have to go through. But on metals, there's like a little more leeway. They can do different things. So it's interesting.
The $1 million question, and I'm excited to see what number they come up with, is the mintage.
Yeah.
What they're going to pick.
I bet it'll be low.
I bet it'll be low too. Historically, gold coins, the mintages have been getting lower because gold's not only becoming more valuable, but the scarcer the coin, the more excitement it drives in the market. So I think they'd be shooting themselves in the foot if they made it too high.
Well, also, I think just with the price of metals and the demand for metals, not just in numismatics, but in, industrial demands for silver especially, but also for gold, the price of it where there's less people who might be able to afford it when it comes out. Remember the last few years, like the Liberty and Britannia, the gold flowing hair, they started with these low maximum authorized mintages, and then they only struck about 55% of the authorized mintage.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
like I was doing the math the other day. Like I think the Liberty and Britannia, I think was like 55%, and the Gold Flowing Hair is like 57%. Like it's so they're not even hitting the maximum of these already low proposed mintages. I would expect this to follow that same trend.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be a sure hit. People can't get enough of high relief gold, and I understand why. It's like the most exclusive finish on a gold coin that you can get, especially when you look at American coinage,
Because they're real. It's it's not a coin struck to be circulated, so it truly is made to be a work of fine art. I mean, it's a sculpture.
Yeah,
and it's gold, so it's got all the kind of all this bells and whistles.
Yeah.
So, should we move on here?
We should, and I know we have a few extra postcards this time, and I heard this time, the questions are like complete surprises to both of us. So, do you want to go first?
Okay, you want to go, or you want me to
go first?
All right, here we go. Okay, why are you such a jerk? No, that's not what I said. What is your favorite coin that you've personally handled?
My favorite coin that I've personally handled, that's an easy answer. It's the 1794 Flowing Hair Silver Dollar in PCGS Mint State 63 plus CAC that we placed with a client back in 2022. It's a monster coin.
I'm not shocked. I knew that.
Yeah.
I was pretty confident you would say that. I mean, I was actually just talking about that coin to my daughter yesterday.
Oh, really?
Because she was asking, like, what's the most expensive coin you guys have ever sold and stuff? And I started, like, telling her about it. I'm like, every time I talk about it, I get all excited. I'm sure you do the same thing. I mean, there's how many were struck? 1,200? 1750. There's about 130 that exist, period.
Correct.
Probably at least a third of them are damaged or cleaned or whatever.
Yeah.
There's only about 130 that exist, period. But in Mint State, I think there's 6.
6 or 7.
Right?
If you include the SP, I think it's 7.
Yeah, I mean, it's insane.
It's insane.
Insane.
First year of the silver dollar. And, think about it. The reason, apart from it being a monster coin, that it's easily anyone's favorite is I can't imagine there are a boatload of people in the industry that have handled the flowing hair in Mint State. And so it's just insane, It's super cool.
And there's nothing more historical. Our entire monetary system revolves around the dollar. Like, that's the base that the system, everything's either a fraction of a dollar or it's a multiple of a dollar. Like, a dollar is the core foundation of the system. The Mint, the first year they struck silver coins, 1794. Like, these are the foundation of our country's entire monetary system. It's as historical and desirable as it. I've always wanted to own one. Like, I'd be happy to own a bent one that was clean, like that you got hit by a truck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, to own any one, but to have a Mint State example. And they all have a phenomenal pedigree. Like, that was, whose collection that came through? Was the guy who's the brewer, right? That had the brewery.
I think it was from the Boyd collection.
Okay, FCC Boyd, Fred Boyd. Yeah, he was.
Boyd Legend. That's it. Those were the two pedigrees on the coin.
But I think even if I remember before Boyd, because Boyd was a big newspaper guy in, like, I think the 40s and 50s. He had a phenomenal coin collection. Before Boyd, I thought it was, and I'm blanking of the guy's name. He was like an eccentric guy who owned like a brewery. I think he was in like Minnesota or St. Louis, like somewhere in the middle of the country. But now I'm totally blanking on his name. Anyway, like, these coins have pedigrees back to, these were important for collectors going back to, 150 years ago. This was a big deal coin for a guy to own in like 1880 or something.
Yeah.
So when you get these coins, you're part of, like, not only the history of our country and our money, but the history of coin collecting.
I wish I had it with me. That reminded me of something. One of my clients sent me a catalog almost that a coin dealer made back in 1957. It's in immaculate condition. It looks like it was printed yesterday, and apparently it's been in his family for a few generations, and he sent it to me as a gift just so I could use it at work however I can. In that catalog, in the year 1957, it doesn't say the condition, but it talks about the 1794 flowing hair. Can you guess the price that it says that they're willing to pay? It's a range.
I'm going to say like 1957. It would have been a ton of money still back then, but obviously nowhere near today. I'm going to guess like $5,000 to $10,000.
$200 to $1,000.
Okay.
Yeah. Nothing. And now it's a 7-figure coin.
And in that same catalog, what's a Morgan dollar? Like $1.50?
Something like that.
Probably,
yeah. I know for like Roosevelt dimes, not Roosevelt dimes, for Mercury dimes, they were
9
paying,
cents.
It was like 15 cents a coin, which was still crazy. I mean, it's like 50% over face value, but
Right.
yeah.
That's wild. Yeah, that's one of my favorite coins too. Like if you asked me my favorite coin I handled, I might say the same coin as you.
The flowing hair, 100%. I mean, it's hard to pick. I mean, we've handled some really awesome coins here, but something as historic as the flowing hair, I don't think.
The gold bar is amazing.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if you know this story, but when I was at Stax, and I was fairly new in my career, so I was kind of like more like a grunt, kind of just go do this and get this and stuff. Vic, who you know, handed me an envelope, and he's like, "Hey, can you take this coin out of this capital holder? We're going to submit it for grading." And I'm like, "No problem." So I go get a screwdriver, go open the envelope, and I pull out this capital holder. 1894 S dime.
Holy crap, that's crazy.
$1 million coin.
So was he busting your chops? Like, was it supposed to be
he
a
was
surprise?
kind of, yeah, it was like he was trying to like surprise me. Like it was like kind of, it was like a cool, fun thing because like he knew I'd be all fired up. Like, so I literally took it out of the holder, like held it raw, like put it in like a flip. And,
that's
like,
crazy. That has to be up there for you.
That was
too.
up. So that was up there. But I'd still probably say your 1794 is probably number one. Oh, do I read? No, you.
No,
read.
it's me next. What's your opinion of HOAs? I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Actually, you're gonna have to change that shirt. We don't allow that color shirt. On
That's a whole different topic. We didn't want to get into that today. This is more of a statement, and it's whether or not you agree with it.
Okay.
$10 Liberty heads, Cirques specifically, are the most undervalued coins in numismatics.
You know, it could be. I mean, Cirques too. You know, I'm gonna have
When I
to
say Cirque, I mean like mint state, like circulation strike.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say circulation, like condition. I was gonna say for earlier, rarer dates. I mean, for late dates. I mean, it's
no. I'm talking like circulation strike. Like
yeah. Just mint state, like Cirque strikes, business strikes. I could see that because I think a lot of people shy away from it because it's such a big set, and I think today people understand like you can't necessarily be a completionist like in everything. Like some things I collect, I know I'm not ever going to get everything. I just see how many I can get. If you're trying to go be a completionist, which I think was more historically the norm because people had books and they're putting the coins and trying to fill every hole, I think it's daunting because it's such a big series. I mean, they struck them for like 80 years. There's all different mints and you know what I mean? There's so many. So I think it's daunting that way. I think, you know, people who are new see, especially gold, they get a little nervous. And I think for that, you know, those reasons, if people are going to collect gold and are comfortable with like the price level, they go for the 20 because it's the biggest coin. Yeah. So it gets a little bit overlooked, but there's some incredible rarities, like low mint, you know, coins with mintages like, you know, less than 2,000 coins. I mean, coins that if they were released today, people would go crazy like to try and get, and people don't realize how many of these rarities there are. And plus it's fun with like, you know, the early ones, you got some like, you know, different varieties in the very first issues, right? Like the, you know, the different hairstyles and like head of 1839 and like these different things. You got the mint marks, you know, you got CCs, you got O's, you got all this. So yeah, I think that's a accurate statement. I think it's an underrated series. And I think as a testament to like, I mean, it's a while ago now, maybe 10 or 20 years ago, I remember David Hall, who was the founder of PCGS, he sold his personal collection that he'd worked on for like 20 years probably of $10 Liberty heads.
Oh, he had a collection?
Yeah, he did, because he thought it was exactly the reason you're saying. Like,
not enough people collect 10s.
Exactly. He thought this was an underrated series, and he was like, I'm going to just focus on this series for a while, because again, there's these crazy rarities that would cost, you know, even if it was a Morgan dollar with that rarity, not even a gold coin, a Morgan would probably be worth 10 times more than some of these early, you know, 10s are worth, because people just don't realize how rare they are.
So I actually wrote that statement, like that came from me.
Yeah.
And it came from the fact that, you know, especially recently, we got a few 10s in that I'm sure
we had some cool ones in stock, yeah.
As I look at them, it's like, if you got the same exact specs, meaning mintage, condition, pop, how many are finer. If you got all those numbers and you applied it to a similar 20, you'd be paying 10x more. A comparable 10, let's just look at a coin, mintage under 2,000 examples. It's a high AU, only like 12 in the grade with, let's just say 7 finer, random numbers, right? You could get a 10 with those specs for like $30,000 to $40,000. If you try to compare that to a 20, you could look at something like the 54.0, and I know that's a more extreme comparison, but the information is very similar. 2,245 minted in AU condition. I think there are like 20 coins in AU 50 or something like that, and like 5 finer known. So similar specs, but to get that, you're going to pay multi-six figures to do that.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, 10s, in my opinion, are one of the best areas in numismatics that anyone can get into, because there are not a lot of eyeballs on it right now, because it's overshadowed by the 20.
For sure.
But I
like I said, even a Morgan with similar rarity is probably more money for some situations.
100%. With even less
multiples
rarity.
more.
The 89 CC, as much as I love
it's a great coin.
in like mint state 61, there could be like 80 to 100 coins in existence. It's still a $40,000 coin, where this one has like a dozen in existence and it's the same price.
Right, for sure. That's a good one. I like that one.
You're up next.
All right, here we go.
Be nice.
I didn't write this, but it's definitely written in my voice. Like Nate, who writes these, he knows some of our prior conversations.
All right.
And I'm reading this verbatim. I'm not adding words.
Lay it on me.
What kind of a lowlife schmuck doesn't like Colonials? Do tell.
Can I see that postcard? Let me see that. Oh my God. Listen.
Well,
it's not.
Well,
how do I put this lightly? It's not that I don't like Colonials. It's just they're so boring. Like the New England shilling, it has like this. I mean, look, it's a super valuable coin. It's one of the first coins ever made. Don't get me wrong, but it's like getting a stamp and just like putting the initials JM at the top right there and then calling it a coin.
Those are good initials.
I'm sure you like those initials, but you get the point I'm trying to make. They're like boring, bland coins.
You have to come at it a different way, though. Like you can't look at it like a high relief saint. I'm not going to disagree and say a New England shilling is so beautiful. Like it's not like a high relief. It's just I love that like crude. I love like. You go to an antique store in like a little farm town and you see like these old tools and stuff. I love that stuff. Like this stuff that's handmade and crude, the craftsmanship. But the history, I mean, this is the first coins of our country. These are the coins. When you look at those old prices, you could look at my office. I have probably price guides from like 1900. People didn't care about half the crap we talk about today. But these coins were important going back to the day one of coin collectors in this country.
Who cares about Colonials now?
They're right up there with your 10 libs as being underrated.
In fact, they're not.
They're the most important coins in our history.
They have 2 issues. Number 1, mintages are not defined for the vast majority of Colonials. Number 2,
and even if you knew it, the mintages are tiny. Like it doesn't matter because the mintages are tiny.
They are bland and boring.
Dude, there's so many different ones. Dude, New Jersey has a horse head. Vermont has the landscape with the green mountains and the sun rising over it. How is that boring? That is like one of the coolest design coins ever.
Better looking coins 2,000 years ago in ancient Greece with the crafty
technique. This is a
fledgling
country with a ragtag bunch of guys trying to break away from England. You know who's making those coins? It's not the great artists of ancient Greece. It's a blacksmith who's like, hey, dude, we need to make coins. We need money. How are we going to do it? Can you do it? You know how to make a horseshoe. Do you think you can make a coin?
I love the history of this country from beginning to end, but our coinage sucked during the colonial era. Like, I mean, what were we?
Schmuck.
It did. It's very bland. It's like you look at it. I mean, like you look at a 1794 flowing hair silver dollar, you get chills by holding that coin. You look at a New England shilling. It's like
Brazier doubloon.
That's not a colonial, technically.
How is it not a colonial? Branch of the Balloon. It's the first gold coin struck before we had how is it not a colonial?
It's like towards the tail end of colonialism.
No, it's not a colonial because it's a colonial,
Look,
but
like I said,
I'm not going to count it because I don't want to count it because it is cool.
Let me rephrase this. Most
Talking
colonials,
out of both sides of your mouth.
Most colonials are bland and boring.
Dude, New Jersey's with a horse's head on it. Incredible. And look at this stuff.
Yeah.
Jeez. Now I'll give you some of them. I'm not as into.
Talk about the New England shilling, the one with the stupid stamp on the top of it. Okay. Talk about that.
I love it.
You love it?
Yeah.
What do you love about it?
It's the first silver coin struck.
You can't even tell if it's circ or not because they're all just like a blank.
Because you don't know how to grade rare coins. That's my problem.
I don't know, man.
It's a tough coin to grade. You're right, because there's not much to grade.
There's nothing to grade.
But literally, it's dated, 1658? They were struck even a little later.
1652.
1652, right. 1652. They were struck a little after that because England said you can't strike coins. And they went, we're going to make them anyway. Let's put the date before they changed the law. I mean, it's such a great story. The first silver coin, the first coin struck in America. I mean, it's what's cooler than that?
American
All right, if it was an ultra high relief with Lady Liberty, yeah, it would be cooler. But they couldn't do that in the 1600s.
The history behind it is incredible. I'm never going to knock the story behind how colonial pieces were made, but the coins are just bland, man. It's like, I get excited whenever I show my coin collection, my personal coin, which we should do, by the way, one of these days. Yeah. But whenever I show my personal coin collection to like people that come to my house or like friends or whatever.
Just because Tyrannus has a crown on doesn't make it the most pretty coin in the world. Give me a break.
Hear me out here. Hear me out here. I get excited because most people that haven't collected coins don't really know what any of those coins are, but they appreciate the artistry and the beauty and the craftsmanship that went into those coins. And it's like, with the shilling, you can't really explain any of those things. You could talk about the history and why they were made and why it's so cool, but you can't really marvel at its beauty because it doesn't have any. It's just bland.
Yeah, but the art is only one facet of it. The history. The history is like off the charts.
Can you name one category of U.S. coinage, apart from colonials, that have terrible designs that are equally as historic and important?
Yes.
What?
Gold bars from shipwreck bars.
They're kind of numismatic. You could call them big, giant hunks of gold that are
hugely
coins.
Look at the premiums that coin bars from the central. I mean,
even that has more character than the New England
bars that came directly from the gold rush.
Even a bar from the SS Central America has more character than a New England shilling.
Oh, get lost.
Yeah, because it's from a shipwreck. It was actually mined from the California gold rush. There's a better design on the bar that's from the SS Central America than there is on a coin that we made in 1652. Anyway, I'm moving on because there's no changing your mind. And I know a lot of people are going to hate me for my opinion there. But
because I'm right.
Yeah. This is, we just reached a peak in passion. This is going to really mellow us out here.
Okay.
All right? You ready, Jack?
Yes.
All right. Is your heart rate down?
Not yet.
All right. Has the Lincoln cent created more collectors than any other type of coin?
I would say yes. I guess maybe it could have been passed by the state quarters.
We don't know yet, though. That's the issue.
We know that there's a big amount. I mean, we know the Mint did that survey during the time when they were being, when they were still
over
making
100 million people.
I think it was 130 million collectors, he said. Yeah. But a lot of those are very casual collectors. They're only collecting those coins, and we don't know if they've continued to become more serious, advanced collectors or not. But if you exclude that, which is kind of a wild card, I would say yes, because, my generation, everybody, that's how you started. You have the penny books. Even Rick, you see Rick come on the show, he'd bring his old penny books from when he was a kid. It's a series that started in 1909, so it's a long series. So, if you're collecting coins in the 1920s, think about somebody born in 1905. Mm-hmm. When they're a kid, if they're collecting coins as a 15-year-old in 1920, they're collecting Lincoln pennies. It's so accessible because you could get them out of change. It was the lowest denomination, so everybody could afford it. You go, even if you didn't have a lot of money, you go through your parents' change, and you look to fill the holes in your collection. So I would say, yeah. I mean, I know so many like dealers that we deal with who that's how they started as kids. You get the books and you try and fill all the holes with. I don't know anybody, I don't think, who filled all of them. Definitely not from change.
Yeah.
Because you had to go buy. If you were ever going to get an SVDP or
you'd have to find that from
14D or a 22 plane, generally you're going to buy those. But I mean, I think as a testament to how long people have been collecting them, I mean, look at the 1931S. Your 31S, when it came out, collectors already realized that it was a low mintage and it was a rare coin. That's why you can get them in mint state today, because in 1931, there were enough people already collecting Lincoln cents that they went, ooh, this is a low mintage, we better save these. That's why it's not like, thousands of dollars for a mint state coin. You can get, I mean, obviously the highest grades can, everything, the sky's the limit, can be thousands of dollars. But you get a nice 1931S for, several $100s. MS63, 64 red is definitely under $1,000. It's in the hundreds of dollars.
It's interesting you say that, because most Lincoln cents from the 30s onward, not all of them, but most of them are fairly easy to find. And it's probably for the same reason.
By then people were collecting them
exactly,
already,
And talking to clients for years and years, whether or not they admitted in the beginning when they first start building that relationship with the person I'm working with, it eventually comes out that the first or one of the first coins that they collected as kids were Lincoln cents. Same thing you're saying. They would fill in all the holes in their albums, look through pocket change and everything. And it's just, there's so much today that we need to credit to the Lincoln cent. It's not even funny. Most people look at it as the smallest coin that is still in circulation, although it's leaving circulation.
Well, it'll keep circulating. They're going to stop making them for circulation, but they'll circulate for a while still.
It's such an iconic coin. It'll go down in history as one of the most important coins to enter the numismatic industry, in my opinion.
Yeah. And they did a good job. I mean, it was the first circulating coin with an actual person on it, versus just an image of Liberty. So once they started making it, they couldn't go back. Everyone's like, you can't take Lincoln off of the cent. But it was also because it was a beautiful design. Roosevelt reached out to Victor David Brenner because Victor David Brenner was such a fan of Lincoln. He already made those plaques and medals and things.
Oh, that's cool.
He was making them leading into because that was the centennial of Lincoln's birth, 1909. So Roosevelt had seen this stuff and was like, hey, man, let's make the penny. The design is almost exactly the same as the plaque that was done before. So phenomenal.
I agree.
Phenomenal creator of collectors. All right, my turn.
Let's see how many hot seat questions you have left in that pile there.
Okay.
No, this one seems a lot more tame.
This is kind of funny, but okay, this is an interesting one, featuring some modern coins.
Okay.
One that I know was very important to your journey in coin collecting.
Oh, I know exactly.
Would you rather have the world's finest collection of Eisenhower dollars or Susan B. Anthony
Susan B.
dollars?
Anthony's.
You would?
Yes. Every day.
Do tell. Why is that, sir?
Eisenhower dollars are cool because they're big.
Yeah, for sure.
But they're kind of ugly, kind of boring.
Don't tell that to Mamie. Mamie thought he was sweet.
Sorry, Mamie.
I like Ike.
You're obviously leading me into the way I got into collecting. So when I was working in the call center for RCTV, the first office that we ever had was probably like twice the size of the small studio that we're working in right now. Do you remember that office?
Yeah.
In Santa Monica?
Oh yeah.
And so the coin room was right behind my cubicle when I was working in the call center, and I was taking orders for coins. I probably worked there for like 10 days or 2 weeks or something. And then one day I see them with the cart, like pushing in coins that we got in that we were going to ship to people. And I just asked, I forget the guy's name that worked here at the time. I asked if I could see one of the coins because I've never seen a collectible coin in person. The coin that he showed me was, I forget if it was a 1990 or 1993, but it was a proof, Susan B. Anthony. 99?
Yeah, because they only made them in 79, 80, 81, and then not till 99.
So 99, Susan B. Anthony in proof in the OGP, not certified. And I don't know what it was, but I saw the coin. I was like, oh my God, that's like the most beautiful coin I have ever seen in my life. And this is coming from a guy, me, that has never collected, ever. And I was just so enamored by that coin, I started getting closer to Jack because he would teach me a lot about.
Well, you'd probably
coins.
never seen a proof coin probably in your life.
Never,
right?
Ever.
Yes.
Never, ever. I've never seen
to see a coin with a mirrored, like,
like I mean, my generation grew up not really caring about pocket change to begin with. Like we rarely even used coins like in like commerce or spending, you know.
Right.
But just to see a proof one, it was amazing. And then after that, the rest was history. I got hooked on coins.
Is it like seeing like some kind of a hologram gold foil Charizard or something like this? Something you could relate to?
It was just so cool. And the funny thing is, I don't really like talk much about Susan B. Anthony's today, but I mean, it got me into collecting. I credit that single coin that they showed me that day to the rest of my career so far. So
yeah, I mean, look, you're going from not even knowing that people collect coins, not even knowing what a proof coin, never seeing one, to selling one of a handful of the finest known $1794.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You've come a long way, baby.
Thanks, man. It's been fun.
But Susan B. Anthony is only slightly more attracted than Dwight David Eisenhower.
At least they kind of tried with the uniqueness. I mean, it's a circular coin, but it has this like it almost looks octagonal. Like
it looks because they have the lines within the border.
Correct.
Which people, I think, kind of in their head they misremember. What do they call Mandela effect? You like remember something, but it never really happened that way. I think
that's what it's called.
Right? It's kind of like that. People think the coin isn't round because you're used to seeing that border. And how often do you see them? I mean, they're rarely
coin.
used.
I mean, Ike dollars just don't do it for me. I have nothing against them and people that buy them, but like every single person is going to have their own opinion on different types of coins. So there's no one right, correct opinion.
Of course.
I mean, you just heard me say
there's a couple wrong, but you know.
Yeah, that's why. Like, you just heard me say I don't like Colonials, so like probably 95% of the collecting community would disagree with me on that one. But I mean, if it was me, SBAs all the way.
I like Ikes because one, they're big. You mentioned I like that they're big. The other thing that I kind of think is cool, and this is I guess, more of a if you're been collecting a while versus a new person who first just looks at coins is I know how hard, especially like the clad mint state coins are to get in really high grades. Mm-hmm. So to me, that's kind of a cool it'd be a challenging collection to put together because to try and find those really high grade coins, they might not be super as expensive as other series, but it'd be hard to look for them. Like I like collecting things where you can buy something that's like $300, but it still takes you like 5 years to find.
Yeah,
and that's like that kind of a coin. I think
you could knock out the entire Proof Ike collection in one go nowadays.
The Proof Ike collection is not that hard. It's the mint state ones that are the real hard ones to get.
In high grades, I'm sure.
And just average grade, you could do it in a day. There's nothing real hard there. Yeah. Anyway.
I think I'm next.
Oh, are you next? You got more questions?
Yeah, you mentioned the Susan B.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Oh, all right. Well, I am putting this question back onto you from last week.
Okay.
Jack, what else do you collect, and what is your favorite piece among all the things that you've collected in your personal life?
So what else do I collect outside of coins or coins?
Outside of coins.
I collect football cards. I collected baseball cards and football cards as a kid, but as I got older, I got back with football, even though as a kid I did baseball, but I'm more of a football fan. And I used to actually have season tickets for the New York Giants. So my main collection is graded, certified New York Giants, like Hall of Famers. Like there's a guy, Harry Carson, who when I was a kid was the captain of the team. He actually was the first guy to dump Gatorade.
Okay.
He was the first one. They did it on Bill Parcells when they won the Super Bowl. And so when I was in high school, I wore number 53, which was his number. So I actually, because in cards, they have registry sets like coins.
Yeah.
I actually have the number 1 Harry Carson registry set.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
That's one thing. I collect records. As a kid, I grew up listening to a lot of like hard rock and heavy metal and punk rock. But then as I get older, I started getting really into jazz. And lately I've been listening to country. So I've got a lot of records that I listen to, which is a little different. It's still collecting, but it's done not in as methodical of a way. It's just like, oh, this is an interesting artist. Let me hear this. What else? I kind of have about a dozen pairs of sneakers, a little bit of a sneakerhead. I definitely have that collecting gene, like that weird bug that some people just like to collect stuff.
It's weird, right? Certain people are collectors at heart and they collect like basically anything that they like. Totally. And other people just don't understand it.
Totally.
Yeah.
Like guitars, I play bass in bands, and I had a bass that like my favorite one that I've had since I was like, 18 or 20 years old. But now I have like 4 others that it's like, you can only play one at a time. But I'm like, oh.
Let me ask you an interesting sidebar question that has to do with this, but it's a bit of a tangent. What would you collect that you aren't already collecting? Like, what do you like that you thought of collecting that you haven't really explored yet?
I don't have the money or the space for cars. I'd love to have a handful of muscle cars. Love muscle cars. I'd love like a 67 GTO. I'd love like a, late 60s Chevelle, like Camaro, like I love that kind of stuff.
I just learned recently that this 1970 Chevelle is like the king of muscle cars or something like that, right?
I don't know enough I'm more of a casual collector, but I mean, yeah. There was a guy in my town who had 2 Chevelles that were, I don't know if they were 70, but like that general era that were like these just really badass cars. I remember my dad talking to this guy one time. He said he had put in an engine that was so big that he then took it out and put a smaller engine because it was too hard to like get it moving. Like he'd hit the gas and the wheels would just be like spinning.
That's crazy.
So I love that kind of stuff. I mean, guns, a lot of coin collectors are gun guys. Like I have some family members who collect guns. I don't have any guns yet, but I've been starting to kind of like look at them and research them. I think, that's a pretty common one I know you have clients, you've talked to quite a few guys who collect guns. It's a pretty
gun collecting,
one.
Coin collecting, and card collecting somehow go hand in hand with each other. If you collect coins, you probably also collect guns or probably also collect cars.
Maybe watches. A lot of guys are watch guys.
So a lot of guys are watch guys as well.
Yeah.
Correct. But with coin collectors, a lot of them don't collect the newer watches. They collect like vintage watches, like vintage Rolexes and APs and stuff like that.
Right. So yeah, lots of cool stuff. Who's up, me or you?
I think it's you. Yeah.
All right, let's see. All right. Oh, this is a good one. What is your favorite coin in your personal collection?
My favorite coin in my personal collection, and I've talked to you about this, but so my heritage is I'm Armenian by nationality, and we're a pretty ancient civilization. One of the coolest coins ever made in ancient Armenian history is King Tigranes the Great tetradrachm. They were made in Greek because Armenia was not making its own coins at the time, and it uses the Greek alphabet, but it was made under the ruling of King Tigranes, who I think ruled from 95 to 65 BC, if I'm not mistaken. These coins are super cool. It's the largest piece that you can get out of ancient Armenian coinage, and Tigranes is known.
Yeah, tetradrachm are pretty big, silver,
it's a big piece.
Coin.
It's probably like the size
almost
of a
half
modern
dollar, almost.
I was going to say like quarter, but like probably in between a quarter and a half dollar.
Yeah, thick too.
Very thick. You are correct. Very thick. But so Tigranes was always considered to be the king of kings in Armenia and across the world at the time as well. I think he ruled Armenia when it was spanning from sea to sea. I think all of like Eastern Europe was Armenia at the time. It's a very cool coin. I know recently there was a large group of them that were discovered, so you see them in the market a lot more often nowadays. But the one that I have, and I've compared it to like all the other ones that have ever come up online or elsewhere, it's like the only perfectly round one where it's also like in frame perfectly.
Yeah.
Most of them, because like Jack was saying, like they were struck very crudely, off center and everything. This one has a beautiful portrait of him, and it's like all the
there's like that bordered design.
Yeah, it's just beautiful.
We were talking the other day, and I've looked at a bunch of these now because we've talked about it, so it's kind of on my radar. So when I see them being offered for sale, which, like you said, they're kind of in the market right now because a group came out in the last couple of years. I'm sure they'll like in the next few years we'll never see one again forever. Yeah. But I was looking at different pictures of different ones, and yours is like the only one that I've seen where that border is completely on the planche.
On the planche, right?
Usually like part of it's missing, it's weakly struck, it's a little off to the side, but
that's a good one.
They're cool. I think it's cool just because the guy has a big crown. I just think that's kind of cool.
His crown, actually, I don't know if you ever look close enough, has 2 eagles on it. Armenia is represented by eagles as well.
I did not know that.
It's very cool.
So it's your Tigranes the Great double eagle?
Since it has 2 of them, it must be a double eagle, right? Yeah. It's a cool coin, though.
Very cool. Is that it, or is there one more?
I have one more.
Oh, all right.
Ooh, This is an interesting one.
Ooh.
If you could travel back in time and meet one coin designer, who would it be and why?
Who would it be and why? I mean, my first just knee-jerk reaction is St. Gaudens. Just
without question.
He's just brilliant. Even
curious who your second would be.
Even outside of coins, I've seen, when I went to Ireland, me and my son took a walk because there's a statue that was done by St. Gaudens.
Mm-hmm.
He was born in Dublin, actually. St. Gaudens.
Cool. I didn't know that. He's Irish?
No, I think he's French, but he was born in Dublin, but then he lived in the U.S. I forget the whole, it's kind of a little complicated background. So St. Gaudens comes to mind quickly, but I might actually say above St. Gaudens might be really interesting, and I'm blanking on the actual names, but the ancient Athenian decadrams, which are considered the...
Oh, you went really back in time.
Really back in time. The crown jewel of ancient coins.
I thought you were going to stick to the last 2.5 centuries, but
I would, but I don't know. I just kind of...
That's fair. Fits in the prompt.
But those decadrams considered to be one of the most beautiful coins ever. It's a high relief coin. For an ancient coin, it's giant. Because we're talking about tetradrachm being a big coin that's bigger than a quarter, almost a half dollar.
How big is a decadrahm? Is it like an Ike, or is it smaller than that?
Decadrahm is about the size of a Morgan dollar and
cool.
thick.
That's cool.
So they're really cool. And it's got this design, this beautiful portrait of, I'm pretty sure that's Athena. It's got these dolphins around it. On the reverse, you have a quadriga, which is a 4-horse chariot. And it's just known as one of the most beautiful coins. Ancient coin collectors are, go nuts for these because there aren't, it's a huge, most ancient coins, what I was saying, that tetradrachm you're talking about, your coin, is, by ancient standards, a huge coin. Most, there's some ancient coins that are the size of a BB. They're tiny coins, some of them. Yeah. Most of them are maybe the size of a dime, right? When you look at ancient coins, thicker.
And they're copper usually, too.
They're often bronze or, even if they're silver, they're usually about the size of a dime. The decadrachm is a giant piece of metal. And the wild thing is there are a few different varieties, and 2 of those varieties are actually signed. I think one is Kimon, and the other is it's a longer name, EU and Unit. I don't know. We'll have to Google it and put it up here in the comments or something. But it'd be interesting to talk to an artist who was one of the greatest artists going back 2,000 years ago, who was creating coins back then.
It's a very unique answer. I was not expecting that.
Yeah, it kind of just popped in my head.
Can you guess what my answer would be? Excluding ASG, St. Gaudens.
Excluding St. Gaudens. My next one would probably be Weinman. He's up there with St. Gaudens. I'm trying to think who you'd pick. Who designed the Susan B. Anthony? I don't even know.
They might still be alive.
They probably are. You probably could meet them. I don't know.
I would pick the good barber, William Barber.
William Barber, okay.
Yeah, that's who I would pick. He designed the Amazonians, which are super iconic, but more importantly...
I always forget which barber is which. The
Charles
was the one who was the mint director for the long period?
Yeah. William was before him, yeah. William was the father and he was the son. Okay. Charles was the son. Okay. But William Barber also designed the trade dollar and the 20-cent piece, which are 2 of my favorite coin designs
ever. Yeah, I know how much you love trade dollar.
Oh, it's so cool.
There's some works I've seen where I'm trying to think which barber. Actually, there's a medal, and my grandfather had this in his collection, and I don't know who. I don't think I have it. I think one of my cousins or my brother have it. There's a medal from the Buffalo schools, Buffalo, New York. A Jesse Ketchum medal. Jesse Ketchum, I guess, was some, guy who founded the school system in Buffalo, some guy from Buffalo. Anyway, the Jesse Ketchum medal was a medal given for merit to students in the schools in Buffalo for, it's almost like honor society or whatever, straight A student, whatever they gave it out for. One side, I forget which was which, but the obverse and the reverse, one side was designed by William Barber and one side was designed by Charles Barber.
Really?
Yeah, father-son did the design.
The only reason I'll never pick Charles Barber is because he made St. Gaudens completely
nuts
and he made him not want to ever work with the U.S. Mint again.
Right.
It begs the question: if he never screwed up, I think it was like a metal design. That
it was the Columbia
Expo metal, right?
Yeah.
But it begs the question: if he never messed with that design, what work would Augustus St. Gaudens have done for the U.S. Mint prior to the 10 and the 20 being redesigned for the year 1907 onward?
It makes you wonder. I think things kind of work out for a reason in life in general. Even if that worked out, like, would he have kind of faded out? And I think the real impetus is just Roosevelt. Like, Roosevelt was like, I want really beautiful coins. Let's get the best guy. I think
Roosevelt like kind of bullied him into working for the U.S. Mint. Right?
Yeah, because Augustus St. Gaudens was like, I'm done. I already dealt with this Barber guy. He changed my metal. He's a jerk. I don't want nothing to do with him. So Roosevelt had to kind of bully him, and then together they had to bully Barber into getting the coins made, because Barber was like, you can't make a high relief. It's breaking the machines. We don't have enough pressure. This is stupid. We can only make like 10 a year. And they were like, shut up. We're making it.
They did a good job with it. I mean, one of the most iconic coins ever.
Oh my gosh. I mean, it is a masterpiece. It is a truly masterpiece. So,
well, we're out of questions, but for those of you who made it this far, we have something pretty exciting to share with you all. So
I almost forgot about this. I'm like, what's he talking about?
Yeah, we are actually going to be giving away. So in the month of July, this month, there's going to be a Superman.
July of 2025. This lives on the internet forever.
Correct, July 2025. That's right. There's going to be a silver Superman medal that the U.S. Mint releases. And we are going to be giving away one of those for free, certified in 70 condition. The way you enter whether or not you win one is by, in the comments down below, just posting and sharing with the rest of the community which coin or coins you are most looking forward to that are going to be released this year. By doing that, you immediately get entered into the raffle. We're going to be picking the name towards the end of the month of July. And if your name is picked, we'll personally reach out to you. We might even give you a shout out during the episode that comes out in August. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Very exciting. Well, it's been another fun episode.
It's been great.
Look forward to doing this, talking coins, busting your chops, having a good time, and join us next time here on the Jackass Podcast.
See you guys.